The Osbournes television show aired when I was a teenager, and at the time, I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to metal. Nay, the worst thing that ever happened in all of rock.
Ozzy, there you go, look. Tiny bubbles.
Bubbles! Oh, come on, Sharon. I'm Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. Evil, evil. I've had a bottle of bubbles then.
But now, as a grown-up and in the aftermath of Ozzy's passing, I realize I was wrong. I'll tell you why on episode 229 of Heavy Metal Philosophy. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, Jon Barbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's Riff of the Week. The Osbournes television show killed the myth of the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne.
People honestly think that I live in a Bavarian castle, hanging upside down off a raft, you know, with the rest of the bats. I do everyday chores myself because I come from a working class background.
This might seem a little odd to everyone that was born after 9/11 who only know him as the lovable celebrity. And this might seem strange to non-metalheads. But what you have to understand is metalheads aren't just fans of a particular genre of music. We don't listen to this stuff just for the vibe. And to be clear, when I say metalheads, I don't mean somebody that listens to heavy music when they're in the gym. I mean every single day, all day. We're not just fans of a few bands. It encompasses everything in our lives, from the way we look to the way we think, our entire outlook on morals and society. I have many interests in life, from the outdoors to chess, but if you made me pick just one, it would be metal every single time without hesitation. Only my family is more important to me, literally nothing else. Heavy metal was and is an all-encompassing part of my life. And when something is that important to you, especially when you're young, it can become sacred. And when something is revered, then the pillars of that cherished entity can become golden idols. And Ozzy Osbourne is nothing if not a pillar of heavy metal. And with all that in mind, it's important to note that prior to the Osbournes and social media, I only knew Ozzy from the legends.
And what happened with Black Sabbath, we all ended up junkies and alcoholics and everything. In the end, disaster happens. It's inevitable to happen, disaster, because it's like drugs. They were okay at the time, but we outgrew them, you know. We just, you know, we took LSD, we took cocaine, we took vast amounts of marijuana. It was fun at the time, but then we all just sort of it's not a very good idea anymore.
So you have a more stable life now?
No.
To me, he was the guy that was a part of the group that invented heavy metal. He joined up with a guy who tuned down because his fingertips got crushed off in machinery, and their bassist was named Geezer, and he wrote lyrics about Satan, and they had one of the greatest drummers in all of rock and roll who they routinely lit on fire for fun. Ozzy bit the head off of doves in front of record company executives. He rivaled Keith Richards for who could do more drugs. He pissed on the Alamo. He snorted a line of ants. He brought the world Randy Rhoads, Jake E. Lee, and Zakk Wylde. He was the Prince of Darkness. And by the way, the Alamo has forgiven him and paid tribute to Ozzy since then. But when the Osbournes aired on television, it broke down and destroyed that image of Ozzy as a metal god. It portrayed him as a bumbling sitcom dad, shuffling around confused and helpless unless Sharon was there to help him. At the time, I was furious at this portrayal. I couldn't imagine anything more disrespectful. And when I saw Jack and Kelly run roughshod over Ozzy, I was appalled.
Up now, go to school, right now.
Okay.
Go to school.
Not selected Kelly.
I would never have the audacity to be that disrespectful to my own father, much less someone I viewed as a quasi-holy person. The show didn't exalt him like an icon, it treated him like a joke. And I thought his legacy was ruined, but I was wrong. Here we are in 2025, 20 years later, and instead of him yelling Sharon, he gifted us with Back to the Beginning to remember him by. And my last memories of Ozzy will be of his vulnerable honesty with the crowd.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
In the weeks since that concert, I've been binging Ozzy videos nonstop, and it's only gotten worse since he died. I've barely been able to get any work done. And seeing these clips of the Osbournes in these couple of weeks, this is when I realized what I got wrong. In episode 226 of the podcast, I talked about how astronomically improbable it was that Black Sabbath was able to go out on their own terms for one last show with all of their original members. What other legendary bands can call their own shot and go out with one final concert with all of their original members? Led Zeppelin can't do it. The Beatles can't do it. Bands younger than Black Sabbath can't do it. Metallica can't do it. Slipknot can't do it. So with that in mind, what kept Ozzy going for as long as he did, considering how much damage he did to himself in his younger years? I realize now it was three things: love of the game, love of his family, and Sharon taking care of him. And I'll come back to Sharon in a moment. What do rock stars do when they get rich and everybody around them enables them and wants to make them happy? They do whatever the hell they want to do, which is why we lose so many of them so early. And the ones that don't die, if the abuse gets bad enough, the art suffers, and or they do or say something that completely ruins their reputation. But despite all the drugs and the chaos, after 1989, Ozzy never had another significant controversy. Why? Because Ozzy also did whatever the hell he wanted to do. When he wasn't on the road playing music, he was at home with his family. That's what he wanted to do.
It's a guilt complex that I carry around with me because I feel guilty that I can't be there every day for them. It's like I sometimes often wish there was two Ozzy Osbournes, one that could stay at home with the kids and the wife, and one that could be on the road, you know. But unfortunately, you can't have the best of both worlds, and my love of all love is getting them kids up, you know. And if I can't deliver what I know I can deliver best to them kids in the audience, then I get bummed out.
The man loved to party, but he loved music, his fans, and his family even more. So now the Osbournes have shown me a different perspective. Jack and Kelly ran over him because they were able to, because he loved them and he wanted them to be happy. Sharon bossed him around because that's what he needed. The Osbournes didn't ruin his legacy. They showed us who he really was. He was a family man trying to do the job of a father under the circumstances of an unprecedented life. At this point, there are a select few people, online anyway, who would bring up Ozzy's moral failings with his family, but to me, that's the whole point. We can see now how Ozzy felt about those moral failings from the way he behaved afterwards. Not many people know that Ozzy had a family before Sharon. He was married and had 3 kids while he was in Black Sabbath. And it's true, he wasn't a very good father and husband to that family. But after that, what did he do? Did he continue that behavior, or did he try to do right by his family with Sharon? And that leads me to what I've learned about Ozzy as a man. He famously had a tumultuous business relationship with Jake E. Lee, his guitar player, after Randy Rhoads died. And yeah, that wasn't great, but then how did he treat Jake's replacement, Zach, Afterwards, what did he do going forward? He treated Zach like family, and before the end, he reached out to Jake and made amends and had him play at Back to the Beginning. Him and Tony Iommi fought over ownership of Black Sabbath in court, but they still made amends and continued their friendship. Ozzy demanded that Bill Ward be a part of the final show. He said that the end tour that they did as the end of Black Sabbath wasn't good enough because Bill Ward wasn't there. Ozzy made a lot of mistakes in his life, but he owned them and he tried to do better in the future. And so, yeah, during that time, I was pissed that the Osbournes peeled back the curtain on the man and the myth. But now, I'm glad that they did. Because now, Ozzy is even more of a hero to me than he was merely as the Prince of Darkness heavy metal pioneer. Maybe it's because I'm older now and I have a family now, but these days I see more value in men owning their mistakes and trying to do better than I do the myths of gods and their impossible legend. The Osbournes didn't just show me another side of Ozzy. They showed me Jon Michael Osbourne. Does metal still encompass everything I do in life? Yes. But now, thanks to Ozzy and a few other legends, I have examples of imperfect attempts to try and navigate what happens in life in between the riffs. And I just hope that I can do what my hero did. At the end, go out on my own terms, be proud of my work, and be surrounded by what's really important, my family.
I might be the biggest lunatic that you've ever met in your life, guys. But I'm here for you guys. I'm here for people. I'm here for enjoyment. I'm here for giving people my life, my soul, my everything.